It's been a really long time, and I'm a little bit behind on my energy updates. There's no doubt about that. If you ever want to get clear, spend some time fasting. I've been doing the 16-hour intermittent fasting for the past year, but nothing does it like 8 days with no food. So if you're lacking clarity, you may want to consider that. I don't recommend doing it like cold turkey. I recommend working up to that scenario for sure. Um, yeah, I'd been working up to that scenario probably for the last year, as I said, doing the intermittent fasting. I have a lot of videos in me and I have a lot to say. I was not going to, and I did not come back to this until I was fully ready to come back to this. Some of you know what I've been through. Not everybody does, and I'm fine with that. I lost quite a lot of subscriptions by not making any videos in the last 3 weeks. Those of you that know me well understand this, but I thought that was very interesting time for people to exit. This video, due to that exiting, it's just something I realized that actually has nothing to do with me, other than the fact that this gateway is about unfinished business and clearing anything that's not in the highest alignment of self. And this has been going on for a multitude of months for this wave of energetic frequency that I'm speaking to today. It's been going on for a long time. And so while energy exiting my YouTube and initially in 3D didn't seem like the greatest of times or ways to express gratitude for someone having a difficult time, I, from the higher perspective, realized that everything in my energy field had to be cleared and cleansed, revitalized, and go through a purification process. Those of you that are energy sensitive and feel the energy in advance, this lunar eclipse of November 8th energetically has already been here for a week. And it's really important for you to know that this is the energy of the next 6 months. And so if you're someone who's processing or feeling this energetic frequency now, this particular gateway is all about the self realigning with the highest version of the self. And so anything that needs to be removed from your life or your energetic field, your wave of consciousness, or even your 3D reality is now, has been, and will be removed. That is the time. That is what the current experience is. If you're not feeling this now, your 6-month period of realigning with the highest version of yourself, this gateway which pertains to unfinished business, may start for you next week or a couple weeks after. Either way, the energy will be with us here on planet Earth and throughout the galaxy for the next 6 months. So what does it mean to align truly, magnificently, energetically, and vibrationally with the highest version of yourself? That means that you do not let the energy of people, places, and things, unfinished business, and be a burden or a weight that you carry into this next year. A lot of this burden and a lot of this gateway is about realigning with the truest version of self in the now moment so that we may catapult our energy and our frequency and our true alignment with self for the next 2 months up until the end of this year, up until the solstice. You have essentially from now up into the solstice to realign energetically with who you are at the highest version of yourself. And so that means stepping into unfamiliar territory. That means taking leaps of faith that may be uncomfortable. It means a whole lot of things. But energetically and vibrationally, it means allowing yourself to soar above everything else, above the chaos, above the drama, and above the heavy burden that we have maybe carried. If you'll notice, the pattern right now is about the significant people that you've come in contact with, specifically within the last 5 to 7 years. And you may have resolved many things with family and friends and even partnerships within the last 7 years. The biggest year, last year, 2021, would have been the biggest realignment with the highest version of self this planet has ever seen. So you're hearing all kinds of stories about all of a sudden this person had a miraculous recovery, or all of a sudden this person crossed the Rainbow Bridge and is now assisting from the other side. Or all of a sudden you met someone and the next day you wanted to marry them. Or maybe you've been with someone for 20 years and it was you could no longer hold the frequency alignment of the higher self that you're moving into while being in a partnership with this other person. So drastic change for everyone, a tower moment, if you will, for everyone. And that means essentially in your life, in my life, in everyone's life, that whatever is out of alignment with the highest version of you will be shaken to the core, will be shaken to the ground, and lose its foundation in your third dimensional reality. We have a bubble, a frequency, an energetic signature, which is our home. It's the frequency we are most comfortable in residing, and it is the frequency that we have come here to experience. And that is the frequency of love, this frequency of true joy, the frequency of divine perfect health, and the frequency alignment with the life and the mission and the people, the places and the things that serve the highest version of you. As you know, letting go is not always easy. We have had many ups and downs and many challenges in this year. But this gateway of wisdom, divine wisdom that comes through to you at this time, is so you, yourself, can turn inward on everything that resides within your DNA that gives you the wisdom and the turn on of this DNA to become the highest version of yourself. This time of people, places, and things exiting your life, and also you choosing to leave people, places, and things in your life as well. It's not a one-way street. The energy runs both ways. So while we're leaving people, places, and things behind that are not in alignment with the highest version of self, you may have noticed that in the last year, the many people that you have met have been a catalyst to the true alignment with self. Now, what happens when you can express this kind of joy, this kind of love, this kind of passionate excitement, this kind of inspiration, that the other things, the other people, and the other places can no longer compete or have a standing chance of what you now see, of what you now have always sought after that is finally coming after you. And though it is hard to make change, especially when we've been doing things or believing things or holding patterns for such a long time, this gateway that we're in now, it is absolutely crucial that you recognize what is in alignment of the highest version of you. So this energy for the next 6 months being about the gateway to unfinished business, you will notice specifically within your family, your close circle of friends, you will notice a couple things energetically. One, you will feel instantly like you have worked with these people before. We came to achieve a great and glorious mission on this planet for this galaxy, which reverberates from here in this universe, in this sector of planet Earth, all the way out to the omniverse of infinite existence. So the people, places, and things that have shown up for you in your life within the last year are the things that are now asking you to be resolved. In some cases, resolution may mean speaking your piece, using that throat chakra, because after the time of October 15th, when we cleared the sacral chakra of Earth, I saw and talked about briefly how it was directly connected to our throat chakra. So these people, these places, these things in your life in the last year are asking you to use your sacred, beloved energy of self-alignment with the highest version of you to also work these relationships out. Now, there are people, there are situations within family dynamics, within your circle of friends, within a group of people that you have worked with for a multitude of lifetimes that don't wish to do anything about it. They don't seek resolution with you, even though you may feel there is a problem. And a lot of these things are things that are coming from the surface, specifically from Lyra, Atlantis, and also Egypt, which are very, very connected. I know there was a person I was connected with, and when we first started talking, I just kept seeing him over and over, not as the person he is today, but as the physical representation of someone from the time of Egypt. So these strange things can be bleeding through for you as well. We are all going to be experiencing different fractalization of different people, places, and things, but I do mention that what we have experienced within the time of Atlantis, Egypt, and also Lyran energy and Andromedan energy is bleeding through very heavily. So these are people we've had relationships with before. But more importantly than that, when you're talking about Egyptian wisdom of relationship, they understood the divine template within the Akashic record to restore and renew the alignment within self, but to share that dynamic with someone else. Now, when I talk about tarot and I talk about relationship templates, I seem to lose people. They are not interested in hearing that. Then I have another group of people who follow me and know that's what I started doing, and that's the only thing that they wish to hear. If we could find a very happy medium between those two, that would be glorious, because people that don't want to be in a relationship, or perhaps are already in a relationship, thinks that that has no systemic effect on them and what is going on. But I can assure you, as you are a balanced light being in a physical avatar, that your masculine feminine balance within you also plays a part in your relationships. So if we could find a happy medium between the people who never want to hear me speak about the relationship template and the people that think that's the only thing we came here to do and it's the only thing that matters, If we could meet somewhere in the middle, that would be the perfection of aligning with who we truly are. Now, the specific reason that Egypt is coming through here has to do with that relationship dynamic. You know, if you're in a dynamic with someone, all the exact pertinent reasons that it's not working, that you seek something higher, that you seek something more balanced, that you seek something that is perfection, not in the fact that the relationship itself is perfect, but that you can be perfectly true to who you are, the way you look, the way you feel, the way you express yourself, the way you open yourself up, the way you are naked, the way you are vulnerable, the way you are charismatic, and the way you bring life and joy to every cell within your own body by coming into alignment with your true self. And also you align with those other people. Now, again, meeting in the middle, the relationship portion of this is not important for the sake of relationship, but for the sake of two people meeting who understand the dynamic of being naked, open, vulnerable, and in their power together. That is the power that changes this planet Earth. And I do realize some of you are already coupled with that person, and that's beautiful. But there are many people who are not. And so I struggle with this for many, many months, not wanting to discuss the relationship. I always have the preference of wanting to come from the macrocosmic overview, which is a large portion of where this energy is coming from, what it is, the catalyst for us to change. And right now, that is aligning with the highest version of yourself. That highest version of yourself means that you need to let go and disengage from any energy that is unfinished business that does not wish to finish it with you. So there are people that choose to love us. There are people that choose to work with us, choose to engage with us, choose to be inspired by us and invite us to inspire them. The people we have unfinished business with that have no intention or direction of resolving unfinished business, it's time to let that go. I can tell you firsthand how incredibly painful that's been for me in the past several years, but specifically in the past year. That is their choice. And so it's come the time that we respect their choice and the highest version of themselves and whatever that choice may be for them in that alignment. It is very hard when you love someone to let that person go and to realize maybe they're not coming back, or maybe they're not going to change, or maybe they did not express their love for you, or maybe they just simply didn't have love for you, or maybe they weren't ready to be in that power dynamic with you at the time that you met them. And there's always a really good chance that they didn't understand that it was something within their energetic field that pulled me in, that pulled you in, that pulled in the situation. Because sometimes the energy outside of us, from the higher perspective, knows our readiness better than we know our own. I am very thankful for the dynamic that brought me or invited me to realign with the highest version of myself, even if that person has not chosen to realign with me or with that energy. There's nothing I can do or say to force the universe. I am on the road, on the journey, like you, like all of us, to the highest versions of ourselves. And so you cannot force someone to the highest version of their self. They have to realize themselves that they are ready. So there's an energy here of letting go, the dynamic that we cannot resolve because we are giving it energy that's not bringing us resolution. And so that energy is going down into a void and could be better served with the people who do choose to love us, to work with us, to inspire us, to bring us joy, to assist us, and to accept our beautiful existence as well. The thing about the unfinished business is this. It's not that I met someone a year ago and we conjured up some sort of unfinished business, which now in November of 2022 needs to be resolved. This is a resolution, a bleed through from Egypt, from Atlantis, from Andromeda, from all the times I've known you, from all the times I've loved you, from all the times that I've worked with you. And that's what I want you to know. So it's not a dynamic that unfolded last week or something that specifically unfolded last year, but within the last year is when you have really started meeting the people that are a giant catalyst to your change in vibrational frequency. So what I mean by that, for example, let's say I have the ultimate love for myself, or I feel I have the ultimate love for myself. But then someone walks away from me, and that makes me feel abandoned. It makes me feel hurt. It makes me feel sorrow and regret. It makes me feel that the person never had the capacity to love me to begin with. But the thing about all of this, the reason that it happens, the way we have to look at the perspective is this. If I feel abandoned by somebody or something, some person, some energy outside of myself, the reason I will feel that person abandoned me is not because they did. It's because there's something within me that I am ignoring and abandoning. So anything that someone says or does or gives energy to your situation, if that's not something you're not working on, if that's not part of your current plan to realign or align with the highest version of yourself, it's not going to bother you. If you feel beautiful and some stranger on the street comes up to you and says, "You're unattractive, you're ugly, I don't like the way you look," it's not going to bother you because that energy does not exist inside you. So the people within the last couple years, specifically very much last year and forward, and the time frame is not going to be the same for everyone because we put out a clarion call when we are ready to align with the highest version of ourselves. This is when we pull people in, and we're not just pulling in a specific love partner. That's a piece of it. We're pulling in people we've worked with many times on clearing many planets and altering the frequency of galaxies. This is what we've done together, and this is why we have met certain people. And you probably all have noticed you may have a thought or an idea, or the light bulb of inspiration goes off, and you think, "I really want to call this person." And you call this person even though the light bulb just went off. You have no idea where it's going. But that other person is open and receptive and inviting it, wanting it, asking for it, needing it, longing for the energy that changes the planet and this universe and reverberates out to the omniverse. So you have called these people in. So whatever I'm feeling from the person that I called in, I have to do that to align with the highest version of myself. If you think you love yourself and you're giving yourself full attention, yet feel abandoned when someone walks away from you, that's a human emotion, of course. But you are not going to be empathetic with anything that doesn't already exist within you. So if that abandonment had not existed within me, I wouldn't have allowed that other person's leaving, their exit stage left, to pull me into the hopeless feelings of abandonment. And I'm just using that as an example. Maybe it's self-worth for you. Maybe it's self-soothing for you. It's different things for different people. But the thing about the people that you've met just in the last couple years, again, pulling in that energy from Lyra, from Andromeda, from Atlantis, from all these different times, specifically Egypt, the energy is very much connected with people that we worked with in Temple from Egypt right now. So this unfinished business is not the person I met last year. It's the person I worked with in Egypt. It's the light body I knew in Andromeda. And I knew it the moment that person opened their mouth and started speaking to me. There was almost a light bulb that went off within me on an energetic level that I can't even explain to you. When you have a brilliant idea or a fascination or an inspiration, the light bulb goes off in your head. But this was a light bulb in the heart saying, I know you, I know you. How do I know you? Where do I know you from? And it just continues to bleed in and bleed in and bleed in. So we start to really recognize what is aligning with the highest version of myself. And all the people that you've met, specifically this last year and the last since 2019, are all showing you what's within you that no longer serves you. What is your unfinished business that you need to release and let go? We can always love people from afar without being in their lives or without being in their business. And there's a piece of this that I think is really hard for people to understand. I insist on being an absolute clear channel before I come to you. This is how I've done it forever and always. And part of the reason, the only reason that I have not made videos in the last 3 weeks is because I could not walk for the last 3 weeks to my normal capacity. That is something that's very important for me, to be a clear conduit. Today, for the first time in 4 weeks, I walked 8 miles and I am a clear conduit. And that is a sign that I was waiting for to bring you the information that I've been receiving over the last several weeks. Sometimes 3D physical pain or heartache or loss or disruption in your life will postpone things and put things on hold. So I knew I wasn't really able to, wanting to, desiring to, longing to deliver the story of unfinished business until I was capable of being a completely clear conduit for what I was about to say. Something that I think we all need a lot of help with right now is we've had such a shift in our auric field, within our frequency, within our vibration, that we feel sometimes when people don't love us or don't respond to us in a 3D way, that it can be heartbreaking. A lot of this is going on within the family dynamics. This energy is pushing people into forgiveness. There's very much the energy of forgiveness goes along with unfinished business. So there's a real energy of forgiveness and unfinished business. Now, within my auric field, within the auric field of each of you, there is a frequency, and that frequency is changing. People who are family or maybe partners, maybe co-workers, people that you've known for an extended amount of time may be in or dancing around the peripheral of your existence, but not in your existence. And it can't happen because of the frequency that you have shifted into. So My auric field has very much changed, has very much shifted into a new dynamic, into a new octave of energy. So, people that family, friends, coworkers, people that you've known for a greater period of time, they're not going to simply forget you, but it's energetically like they're dancing outside your peripheral vision. Like they know that you exist, they can see you, they can hear you. But they can't quite reach you. It's almost like as if your auric field has really become a glass bubble, so to speak. So your neighbors, maybe your wife, your children, they may see you, but they may be incapable of interacting with you in the way that they were previously interacting with you because of a difference in frequency. For some of you, and sometimes maybe temporarily, things are temporary. Right now, during this energetic octave jump, we have an octave jump. We have an octave jump that is a real and palatable, malleable energy jump every year between 11/11 and winter solstice. This year is no different, and this energy is already here. So, with family, friends, loved ones, partnerships, within those partnerships, this could be temporary. If this is something that you're just experiencing within the last couple weeks, this could be temporary. If you're in a partnership or a job or living situation or family dynamic where the gap started many years ago and the gap is continuing to increase, I want you to know that these people don't mean to be mean to you or disregard you, but you're outside of their energetic frequency. For example, say you message person that's kind of dancing in your peripheral energy, if you will. Let's say you send that person a text message. If they are at work or in the middle of something or driving or doing some 3D task where they cannot give you their attention at that moment to answer you, they would be, and I'm experiencing this too, and you are, I know, that's why I'm telling you about this experience. They cannot hold you in their energetic field, nor you them. So they're dancing around your periphery means in the third dimension that they're driving, they receive a text from you, they look at it, but they can't respond while they're, on the highway driving. So they don't respond. And energetically, if it's not in 3D, because you're no longer an energetic match, they can't remember you after that transaction or interaction has happened with you. Now, from the other side of that spectrum, this has been happening to me for the last couple of years. Say my best friend or my other half messages me and I read it but don't have time to respond. They are always in my energetic field. They are in my heart space. They're not dancing in the periphery of my energetic field. I'm not going to forget to respond to that person. However, somebody reaches out to me for a reading, for example, that I don't know, for a tarot reading. Been posting since 2016 to help people on Facebook for free, for example. So an energy that I'm not familiar with, an energy that's not the same, not in my energetic heart space, not within my auric fields frequency match of the highest version of myself. I know better. I've learned. I get a message from a client. I don't know. I don't read that message until I have the time to respond. Because let's say I'm in the car in the grocery store and I see that message, oh, this person wants a reading, or this, person wants assistance with something. If I look at it right then and there, and they are not within my energetic field or on my frequency wave, I will totally forget about it if I read that message. So I will save messages. For example, especially this last couple of weeks when I've had a hard time keeping up with my correspondence, I will not look at messages that come through Messenger. If there's 10 messages at a time, I will literally go through at the time when I have the time to answer each of those 10 people, or have a phone conversation or whatever it is. So know that people are not trying to hurt you. They're not trying to hurt your feelings or disregard you. You share a different energetic space, and within the 3D, if you catch them at a moment where they can talk, they can respond, they're perfectly willing to do that, because there is still a bond, a soul bond, and a lot of karmic connection there. But it's not the same as what's bleeding through now in the push to become the highest version of yourself, in the push to release the unfinished business, tie up unfinished business. Tell people how you feel, regardless of what that result's going to be. Hey, you know what? However you feel about me, I love you. I'm in love with you. I can't wait to meet you. Whatever it is, no matter. So the energetic push is in the unfinished business department is for you to use what the divine feminine cleared up this planet between the sacral chakra and the throat chakra. What is sacred to you? You need to speak that. So we need to speak what is sacred to us without being concerned what's coming back from that. Like, I can say that I love you without being worried. Are you going to respond that you love me too? Are you going to respond that you want to work with me too? Are you going to respond that you want to be part of my life? It doesn't matter. Yes, it's a beautiful thing when you can inspire and intrigue and mystify someone. When two people can do this to each other, it's incredible. But the push for unfinished business right now is about saying, I love you. If you don't love me, you are going into the unfinished business pile for this year. I'm not going to carry any weight, right? Anything that's not giving back to me the love that I'm putting out to it, whatever it is, whether it's tarot readings, whether it's a person, whether it's my geographical location. If I am giving my beautiful energy to something, and that something doesn't feel the same, or doesn't wish to reciprocate, or isn't ready, or just doesn't like me, whatever it is, I'm using myself as an example. You can, of course, throw yourself in there. But the push to release the unfinished baggage is for me to use my sacral chakra. This clearing we did on Earth on October 15th was huge. Remember, I said the divine feminine and masculine work together to pull in an energy and protect this Earth, to lock down the sacral chakra, to stop the invasion. That's over. That's why we cleared this on October 15th, okay? We didn't clear it just to clear the Earth so we could get rid of the cabal. That is the macrocosm of what is going on. Microcosmically, within your sacral chakra, what are the people, the places, the energy, the music, the frequency, the dance, the love, the inspiration, the charisma, the drive, the direction for you? And the push to unfinished business is to use the clearing that we did on planet Earth as the divine masculine feminine combined energy at the end of this cycle. Again, it's not someone who showed up a year ago. It's the person that's shown up lifetime after lifetime. That's why you know this energy. That's why the light bulb doesn't go off in your head. The light bulb goes off in your heart and changes your life. It mows through everything in your life that's out of alignment with the highest version of yourself. Okay? Because we don't want to be in living situations or relationships or jobs that are not in a frequency match with us anymore. Because what will happen is you will try to hold on to that person, to that place, to that job, to that thing, whatever it is for you. that is not in alignment with the highest version of yourself, and it will make you so uncomfortable being you because you're not really being you. So when I align with the higher version of myself, I pull in the people that love the highest version of myself, that don't want me to be the Tina that I was yesterday, that don't want me to carry the weight of anything that is imperfect within the cells of my body, within my heart space, or within my auric field. The push for me, the push for you, the push for all of us is to resolve this unfinished business. It's for me to tell you exactly transparently what's on my mind and what is in this energy. This energy is saying to you, if you have a friend, a partner, a family member, somebody that you hold sacred to you, you speak. That is the reason on the macrocosmic level that we cleared this planet Earth, because we mirror Earth and Earth mirrors us. So if you're not doing anything with this beautiful energy, with this beautiful gift of transformation that we're receiving right now, you're not speaking it. Okay, because maybe you're worried that the other person won't reciprocate, or they won't feel the same way, or maybe you're worried about walking into a job and saying, hey, I want to be a counselor. No, I don't have a degree, but I can do it. Let me do it for 48 hours. Whatever it is that you feel is sacred within you, that needs to be expressed, that needs to be spoken, is what you need to speak. Okay, that's what wraps up the unfinished business. Okay, I'm perfect for this job. No, I don't have the credentials, but I feel I'm perfect for this job. Will you give me a chance? Our energy is perfect in alignment. We are the perfect dynamo. We are the perfect couple. I am in love with you. Will you give me a chance? I am in love with Hawaii. I have to move to Hawaii. Will I give Hawaii a chance? So the push for unresolved everything is for you to use your sacral chakra to say, what is sacred? What turns me on? What brings me passion? What gives me direction? What is my inspiration? And speak that regardless of what you fear or feel or think the outcome might be. It's important for the self-expression. It's really important for us to express ourselves at this time. Again, it was so important to clear the pathway, the gateway, the portal of energy that we use to block the Earth's sacral chakra from invasion, and also ourselves from invasion. We knew our energy in Egypt, in Atlantis, in Lemuria, and Andromeda. It's always been sought after, okay? It's always been something that they're after. And there can be some negatives to that, which I don't need to explain. You've already experienced those at this point. We are now at the point where we're out of the negative experience. We're walking out of, or being pushed out of, due to this eclipse, the energy of, I can't be myself. I can't speak my truth. I can't say to you how sacred you are to me, how much you mean to me, how much our love means to me. Express it. Because the more expressive we are of what's sacred, the more we use our throat chakra to express that, to sing that, to chant that, to meditate, to pray, to whatever it is you do. Maybe it's all of those things, but the more we use that, the further, the faster, the higher, the bigger the jump we take from 11:11 to 12:21. And that'll be a separate video. Yes, I'm very happy that I could walk my 8 miles today. I'm filled with gratitude, and there's some very unsettling things that happened in my life in the last couple weeks. And I was thinking for a minute that maybe this was just me. Maybe I was the one that needed to speak things. Maybe I was the one that realized that sometimes life is shorter than you think, or things aren't going to go the way you think. And sometimes there's danger in things you don't see danger in, and other people see it. But it's not just about me, because I've been sitting on this for 4 weeks. When I feel the energy that's coming in, It's like feeling it, sitting with it, and then I step outside of my own body into the observer from the highest perspective of self. And I view how my neighbors react to the energy, and I view how the people on the road act to the energy, and I view how the people on the line at the grocery store react to the energy. And that is what I bring to you. That is the story that I tell to you. What is the what is in the energy? What are the possibilities of the energy? And it's so easy to not want to walk into a job that you're unqualified, or message a person and just say, hey, I'm in love with you, or just, be really ballsy and take a chance, take these leaps of faith. But that's what we're being pushed to do. And again, for the unresolved business, if you know it exists between you and someone else, whether that be a karmic pattern or something that needs to be released and they don't want to work on it, let it go. I am not carrying anything into the new year that is not want to be for me. If I'm giving energy out to something and getting no energy, no love, no affection, no correspondence, no assistance, no inspiration from that place where my energy is going, it's done. That energy is not going there anymore. Again, unfinished business. A lot of times people think that we have to push to resolve this business with other people, and we don't. We have to resolve it within ourselves. And that is how we become the highest version of ourselves. This eclipse energy is very strong. I have been feeling it for a week. But when I first got out of the hospital, to be honest with you, I've walked a little bit every day just to keep my body in motion. But to be honest with you, when I got home, the only thing I did was cry to release physical and mental things that happened, not only with my stay in the hospital, but this past year. I spent a lot of time crying, but mostly what I did was spend a lot of time eating and a lot of time sleeping. But this energy, this information it started coming through after, I would say, 5 days in the hospital of no food. So I said earlier, if you're lacking a little clarity, maybe try intermittent fasting for a couple days, or really doing even just like nuts and water, or homemade juices, or just fruit or something. Keep it light, because there's so much energy sitting out here. And if we are going to give to a situation that is unfinished business, that doesn't wish to return the favor, the love, the correspondence, whatever it is, it's taking away from our ability to be able to gracefully align with the highest version of ourselves. We're going to do it either way. But I'm saying there are two things going on. There are people who are not recognizing and or don't wish to sort it out with you or resolve it with you. Maybe never, maybe just right now. And then there's the people that know you and feel guilty for forgetting about you, and you vice versa with them, because they are dancing around the energetic periphery of your body's energetic field, because your energy has changed so many times, and there is a frequency dip between the two of you. So this is what we're experiencing now. And I know that people feel like sometimes, okay, well, I feel this energy really strongly, so tomorrow it's another energy. Yeah, there can always be more energy added to the mix. However, this is our energy, and this is our mission for the next 6 months, is realigning with the highest version of ourselves, which means kicking people, places, and things basically to the curb that don't want to be joyous or work on this with you. Thank you for being here. I'm grateful, so very grateful to be back in my home, to be back on my 8-mile walks and to be back talking with you. As I mentioned, I'm behind on information due to not being home, not sleeping, all of the things that I'm so used to being such a militant person when it comes to my self-care, and that kind of flew out the window the last couple weeks, and I was kind of more in survival mode. So I'm here, I'm back. It's so amazing to be back. And Rachel, Kathy, I want to let you know, let's see, you sent me flowers, you and Dee, and I believe, and your group, Rachel's Woo Woo. On the 24th of October, maybe? And today they finally just starting to be brown and wilted. So thank you. Those are the most gorgeous flowers I've ever received in my entire life. I'm back. There's going to be a lot of videos coming out. I got a little bit behind in my eating and sleeping kind of regimen focus that I've been on for the last couple weeks. And I apologize. I know it's hard. And it was really weird to me to come out of the hospital and see that I had lost the amount of people on this channel that I lost, that I guess, didn't want to hear about. There was no other way I was going to be able to keep in contact with the amount of people reaching out to check on me and make sure I was okay. And if you were that person, thank you so much for doing that. And I'm sorry about the delay. Most of you by this point I have talked to. But yes, back on the horse here, back on the horse. It feels so good. And I have so many things that I want to talk about, and I don't want to put them all in one video. But thank you for the people who stuck here. Thank you for the people who checked on me in the last several weeks and understood what I was going through. Thank you so much for the people that were praying for me. And on a last and final note here, when I made the short 4-minute video, health video from the hospital, within a matter of hours, there were about 25 to 30 people in my room that I recognized from Facebook. You know who you are. A lot of you, it's something that you do. It's a capability. It's a talent that you have. Some of you that showed up didn't know you had that capability before you showed up, because someone reached out to me and said, I don't do these certain kinds of things, but I felt like you were I was in your room. And I told that person they were. And there were 25, 30 people from Facebook that I've never met in my hospital room. I felt so entirely prayed for, protected, meditated over. I can't describe the experience. I could see the light moving in the room. Like there were so many beings in my room. And then there was probably like 150 just, I don't know what to say, like almost like Andromedan light beings, God, source, light being without body. My room was absolutely packed, and I've asked people to pray to show up for me before, and never experienced anything like that. It was mind-blowing to me, and it opened my heart so much further to the grandeur of who you really are, what your capabilities really are, and the power that we really are on the inside. When you guys showed up for me like that, I was absolutely blown away. Thank you for being here. I love you. Bye.